Hello everyone. Today, as I promised, we will prepare a giant donut weighing 120 kilograms. Let's go. We're going to the store. We bought 6 liters of butter, 40 kilograms of flour, 40 kilograms of sugar, many packs of mastic, baking powder, starch, many different dyes, frozen strawberries, eight kilograms of condensed milk, 2 boxes of chicken eggs. We put all this onto the cash register. And all these products cost $356. We begin to prepare the dough. We open up the boxes. We take out the trays with the eggs. And now we split our towers from the chicken eggs. We split our towers of the chicken eggs and put 2 plastic containers on the table. Now we divide each egg into the yolk and protein. Nothing complicated, but we have 630 of them. It took 2 hours to separate all of them. Done. We have completely filled the containers. And now we take 3 large basins. We scoop up the yolks with a measuring cup and pour the same amount into the basins. Now we need sugar. We open up the bags. "40 kilograms of sugar is scattered into each basin. Also pour in 1 liter of water. With the help of a construction mixer, we mix them. The mass should increase in volume and turn white. Now you need 6 liters of oil. Open it. And pour the same amount into each basin. What kind of dough would it be without flour? We open it. And we scatter 40 kilograms into the basins. For the splendor of the dough, we add baking powder. Open it, and put half a kilogram in each basin. And once again, we mix thoroughly with a construction mixer. In the process, we also added water, as the dough turned out to be very thick. Now we return to the chicken whites. We need 4 mixers and 1 standing mixer. We scoop up the whites with a measuring cup and set exactly 300 milliliters into the bowl. And for the mixers, we measure twice as much, 150 each, and we fill them up. Turn it on. Right now, we have 5 servings of proteins whipped at the same time. We are waiting for them to turn into a foam. We send proteins from 4 small bowls into 2 basins. In the 3rd basin, the bowl from the stand mixer. Gently using a spatula, we mix this foam into the dough to preserve as many air bubbles as possible. We made a small mini conveyor, and while one person measures and whips, the second, that is me, mixes them into the dough. And so for 3 hours. That's it, the dough is finally ready. and it's become much liquidier. The only way to make a large-sized donut is to bake it in a custom-made mold. It looks like just a factory one. We open the oil into the can and sprinkle it from the inside. Now let's glue on some parchment to it. You need to cover the whole mold with it. And finally, we pour the dough from all 3 basins into the mold. Done. We will bake the dough in our huge oven. Now in total with the baking sheet, all this weighs 150 kilograms. We transfer it into the oven. And push it in. But that's not all. The mold needs to be raised and put a brake disc with a bearing under it. Now this structure can be rotated very easily. Ignite the burners, and we close the oven. We need to maintain a temperature of 160 degrees. Every 2 hours, we will slightly open the doors, pull the rope, and turn the mold so that the dough is evenly baked. And while the donut is being baked, we will make a cream that will go inside. We open up the frozen strawberries, pour them into a large saucepan. We put it on the stove. And in half an hour, the strawberries should defrost and let the juice out. Add 2 kilograms of sugar. Mix that thoroughly with an immersion blender. Now we add the condensed milk. Cut through the film and squeeze the condensed milk into a saucepan. Now we open up 2 kilograms of starch. Also pour that into the saucepan. And knead until smooth. In order to break up the lumps really well, we use a whisk. And add some pink dye. We mix that up. After that, we pour this mass into strawberry. Mix it up, and it starts to thicken. We need a thick custard like this. Unwinding a special bag for the vacuum cleaner, we cut off about 1 meter, and we dissolve it along. We solder 3 such long packages together into one large one. Now it turns out a very large pastry bag. We cut off the tip of it. We push the iron tube through and fix it with plastic ties. Now we cut off all the excess. And we fill the bag with our berry cream. That's it, it's full. We return to the glaze. To do this, we cut in half a lot of lemons. With the help of such a special machine, we squeeze the juice out of all of them. The machine squeezes the juice right to the maximum, much more convenient and faster than with your hands. Done. It turned out to be a whole bowl of sour lemon juice. Now let's paint it pink. second thing you need to do for the glaze is powdered sugar. Lots of powdered sugar. We open it and send it all to a large basin. Then pour in parts of the tinted lemon juice. Mix it up. Now we'll get the consistency of a very thick glaze. For the last preparatory stage, we open up the mastic. Now this is quite dense. Therefore, we send it into the microwave. When heated, it is much softer. In 4 briquettes of mastic, we add the different dyes. Mix all that well with your hands until all the dyes go in. Done. We shift it into a square shape. We press the mastic with our hands. We repeat the same thing with each color. Then we just cut it into slices. We get this kind of increased sprinkling. We got all the colors like this. The donut is already cooked. We take it out of the oven and bring it into the studio. To turn it all in, we install a special cover. We snap it on. Turn it over. And unsnap the fasteners. Now we lift off the mold. And we tear off all the unnecessary parchment. Now it can be moved to the table. The shape turned out to be a little bit wrong, but in general it looks like a donut. We push in the cooking bag, and we push out more cream. Now for the glaze. Just pour it all over the top of the donut. And now the last thing, we spread out the multicolored sprinkles. Done. As I promised, we cooked a very huge donut weighing as much as 120 kilograms, and it took 3 whole days to prepare it. I think it's worthy of your like and for you to subscribe to the channel. Let's cut it open and see what's inside. There's just so much cream. Let's try a piece. Hi everybody, I think that many of you have tried this kind of Kinder Bueno bar. Let's open it up. We're gonna make the exact same one, just in a big size. But first you need to try it. On the outside we have chocolate, then a waffle layer with nut paste, and then the cream itself, which is also pretty nutty. The first thing we need is a big, huge mold. Our dad's gonna make it for us from this huge pipe. Using a tape measure, we measure out a meter of 20 and mark it with a marker. From the side, we drill a hole with a screwdriver and then cut the pipe with a jigsaw. Now we're going to draw along and cut the pipe into exactly 2 parts. Now we will make a stand out of wood. To do this, we cut a large board into 2 parts, circle the outer diameter of the pipe, and cut it with the jigsaw. With sandpaper, we knock down all of the burrs. 2 such details are needed. We need a wide board to put between them, and tighten everything with screws. Two large semicircles were also carved out of wood, and 3 smaller ones, but at the same time they were twice as wide. We put half of the pipe on the stand, lubricate a large semicircle with glue, and put it into the pipe. Additionally, we fix them with screws. We put the missing parts in, and our form is ready. But in order to be used, we take some small half circles and wrap them with some cling film. Done. Then we lubricate our mold with some oil. We're going to smear it along the walls. And then glue down some parchment paper. Then we put everything back in its place. Let's start our cooking with the nuts. There are 20 kilograms of them here. We transfer them into a meat grinder. And grind them through a small nozzle. Now we'll need a mélange, sugar, and cocoa. We collect 1 kilogram of crushed nuts, then turn on the mélange and pour them in. By the way, at first while the mass is dry, it can stop. Therefore, we'll help it out. Then add in some sugar and cocoa powder. After about 40 minutes, we'll get a chocolate nut paste. Let's tilt our mélange and put all of the paste into a pan. Thus, we turn 10 kilograms of nuts into the paste. Done. Now let's make our dough for the waffles. We break 48 eggs into a big gastro pan. Add 3 kilograms of sugar. For taste, we'll use some vanilla sugar. And then we go to the butter. Cut off 1.5 kilograms and put it into a saucepan. Also add 1 kilogram of margarine. Let's put all this onto the stove. Melt and pour into our big catering pan. Let's whisk our mix until it's smooth. Now we just need to pour in 3 kilograms of flour. And then finally knead the dough. Done. We scoop it up with a spoon and put it into our waffle iron. We close them. And after 3 minutes, they're ready. You can get them out. And then we open up our nut paste and spread a thick layer onto the waffle. Then we glue it inside of the mold. We worked with like a conveyor belt, really, and while one was making waffles, 4 waffle irons at once, the second was putting them into a mold until it was completely filled. Now let's go to the cream. We open up some bottled chicken eggs and pour them into a bowl. There are 20 eggs in each bottle, and so we have 10 of them in total. Pour in 3 kilograms of flour and mix it all with a mixer until smooth. And then we made this thicker, and we will cook the cream in such a huge saucepan. We take a lot of milk out of the refrigerator. Open them up and pour them into a large saucepan. Then we put this under the burner, cover with the lid, and turn on the gas. As soon as the milk is heated, we add in 12 kilograms of sugar to it. And mix it all with a construction mixer. Without stopping stirring, pour in the thickener into a thin stream. You also need to melt 3 kilograms of butter. Pour this into the cream. And here are the remaining crushed nuts. Mix them into our cream. You gotta do this until it's smooth. It's already thickened up, so we pour it into our mold. We spread out the waffles with the remaining nut paste and put it on top of the cream. That's it, we send our mold into the freezer. Two days later, everything's hardened up. Therefore, we move on to the next step. We're gonna open up some milk chocolate and send it into a Marmite. Turn it on so that it starts to heat up, and stirring constantly, melt that chocolate. Now it's liquid, but to make it even better on the bar, you need to add some oil. And mix. It's much more liquidy now. Now it's time to get the mold out of the freezer. We transfer the liquid chocolate onto the waffles and smear it around. We keep doing this until we cover the entire surface with chocolate. Now let's put some more chocolate in the Marmite. We put a sheet of chipboard on top of the bar and press it as hard as possible with stretch film. First, we lower the form to the floor. And then we already turn it over into this little thing covered with film. Now the stretch film can be removed. Carefully lift up the mold. And tear off the parchment. And open up the film around that wooden semicircle. We screw a self-tapping screw into it and take it out. And then we remove the film itself. The extra milk chocolate pellets have already been melted. Therefore, we scoop milk chocolate with a measuring cup and just pour it all over our bar. We do one more layer. And then just let the chocolate harden. Now we just need to repeat only these thin strips of dark chocolate. Therefore, put a bowl on a steam bath, put some dark chocolate into it. And constantly stirring, melt it. Our already liquid chocolate is poured into a pastry bag. And we pour this over the bar. That's it, our giant Kinder Bueno is finally ready. I think it turned out just perfect, you guys. Well, let's cut off a piece.